Oval fans, hope everybody's doing well. I actually got a message about this, I want to say yesterday morning on Instagram, and I chuckled because when I first read the message, you know how sometimes when you get like a notification and you look at a message, you don't really read for context. It's like you see some specific words that are kind of triggering, like instead of reading the whole, well, then again, in the day of social media and articles and people who use buzzwords and headlines or video titles to get people intrigued enough to click on it or at least engage with the content, I feel like we can all relate to this. But in any case, the message was actually, let me pull it up word for word because, I'm talking about the importance of context. And here I am trying to ad lib what the darn message said. So if you could just bear with me a moment, this is going to be a Jason focused video, and it's a pretty interesting concept. The message was, I feel like Jean is going to come back and haunt Jason either if he takes medication as he sleeps at night or as he is in his potential coma at the hospital. And when I saw Jean, because this isn't the first time I've received a Jean message and people like, do you think Jean's coming back? Do you think Jasmine's coming back to Sisters? Since you love them and this and that. So, I'm used to the whole hecklers and whatnot saying, ha ha. It's like, the fact that, you like these actresses and these women, these characters so much. It's like, let's tease Jeremy to get him back on the show. But this is actually a great idea. Now, I don't think Ashley Monique Harper was at Tyler Perry Studios anytime soon or anytime recently, specifically during the filming of season 4. It would be cool to get like a voiceover or something where, Jean, we don't see new on-camera content for the character, but we get like voiceover narration, like to actually see Jason's mind. This is kind of interesting because I get to see Tyler Perry doing this, as much as I don't like Jason, to actually get a look into the inner psyche of a psychotic serial killer like this would be quite intriguing on this show. You can have Denise, you could have Maud, you could have Jean, all haunting Jason while he's in that coma, or the sleep brought on by the medication he's on because he's hooked up to tubes and everything. This would be interesting as opposed to him just laying in the bed like Benny did for half a season of the Haves and Have-Nots, not knowing what's going through his mind. So to actually see Jason being haunted would be pretty insane. I mean, that would probably lead him to try to kill himself again after he's released from the hospital. But it's just one of those things where Tyler could really give us, and I said this before at the beginning of season 2, okay, yeah, Jason and Gail weren't loved, and then the parents wonder why they turned out the way they did. I get what Tyler was doing, but at that point, he had already killed 3 people, so it's hard to feel sympathetic for him. I mean, if he tried to, do nothing more than just assault them, I'm not trying to diminish the serious nature of someone being assaulted, but I feel like that could be more quote unquote explained as opposed to just straight up murdering these women. Just there's a difference in terms of, oh wow, it's like, yeah, he's a monster for assaulting women, but based on his parents, especially his father, and the way that his parents fight and everything, that's the only kind of love he knows. And again, I know that's a very touchy subject. I'm not just trying to say that Tyler Perry is trying to say that every assaulter is a person who's been through what Jason went through. No, we're focusing on just Jason as a specific character. It just seems like, again, Tyler Perry is the king of cliffhanger endings and whatnot, and somebody has to die in every finale. But I think if he would have lowered the stakes just a bit, it would have worked in terms of having Jason being more easier for him to understand, as opposed to, yeah, I don't really want to sympathize with a freaking serial killer. You see what I mean there? But I would really like it because keep in mind, have and have-nots. We had Candace towards the end of the series haunted by Quincy Jr., Oscar, Warlock, and Erica. Epic scene. They all have flashbacks to their various deaths and whatnot, as well as their interactions with Candace. And in the case of Jason, it will be very cool if he's in the hospital and then we actually hear the voices of his victims haunting him in his sleep. That would be pretty cool. And then not to mention, you have his parents, sitting by his bed. Well, Victoria and Donald show up. Hunter's by his bedside. So if he hears what's going on, he's probably going to, figure things out, in terms of, oh, wow, my mom threw me under the bus. So we'll just finally see what's going to happen, So I really do think that Tyler Perry could really do some creativeness with Jason, despite the fact he's incapacitated for possibly the rest of the season, because we're coming up on episode 14, and we know how slow time moves in the Oval, and we know Jason's in season 4, so for him to be out of commission for, let's say the back half of this season into possibly early season 4, I'm okay with that, because we got enough characters as it is that we're trying to, maneuver around the stories and figure out where they're going into the cliffhanger ending of this season into the next, because season 4 is going to be here before you know it, since they already filmed it. But that's just my 2 cents. Do you think Jason is going to be haunted by his grandmother, Denise, and Jean while he's sleeping? It would be pretty... this isn't going to happen, but imagine if Priscilla went to visit Jason in the hospital. That would be pretty wild, but it's not going to happen. So, with that being said, take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe as we close in on 200,000 subscribers on the channel. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content. And if you would like to donate to the channel to pay Jason's hospital bills, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.